I still got a few more to pull from.
All right. Hey, welcome everybody to the infamous Hangar 18. And today we are down one of our metalhead panel members. Tony, I guess, is off doing something he deemed more important than talking about metal, which I think that's a little bit bullshit. But, maybe I'm just a little skewed here. But anyway, it's Hangar 18. It's Friday. It's fucking 11 o'clock. We're going to talk about metal. And if you don't like it, then get the fuck off. Because, maybe we know too much. Computer banks on the walls. Okay. All right. So, anyway, first thing we're going to talk about is our that was an actual Hangar 18 reference there. So how you like that, Apples?
There you go.
All right. So first thing we're talking about here is heavy metal news, and I was looking around for some heavy metal news, and it was pretty slim pickings. Basically, it was like, hey, this is X artist's reaction to the election. And
Right.
I don't know, probably 90% of them were like super pissed off about it. Like I know OTEP has like flooded her social media with like how she's mad and whatever else. And I gotta say,
Yeah.
OTEP, just stick to the music because I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, just here's
Yeah,
and
I saw that too. She was like all like, ragey. And
right,
like,
and she was just like. She's like, well, I'm a loud and proud liberal. I'm like, actually, you're not really a liberal. You're a progressive, and there's a distinct difference between those two words. But anyway, barring all that, I do have an actual piece of heavy metal news. They're releasing a. I thought that this was funny just for the way the news was written. They're releasing a Bluetooth AC/DC official speaker, and basically it looks like a little amp. And it's pretty cool looking, and it's supposed to last for like 2.5 hours on battery power. But the thing that I thought was funny about it is like in the description of it, a little blurb of what the thing is all about. First off, they didn't tell you how many watts it was or whatever the fuck else. But what they said was, oh yeah, it's solid MDF. Like that's a fucking selling point, right? I mean, MDF is I always thought MDF was junk that you use instead of real wood, and apparently like, oh yeah, it's MDF. So I just thought that was funny that they use that as like a big selling point of this little Bluetooth speaker. But hey, it says AC/DC on it, so it'll probably sell fucking 1 million units, right? So anyway, that's my little tiny piece of heavy metal news, and hopefully Dreadwind here has something a little bit more interesting. Go ahead.
Not really, but speaking of Bluetooth, and it fits the theme. I'm glad you brought that up because did you know Bluetooth was named after King Harold of Denmark, who was nicknamed Harold Bluetooth.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
I always thought it was like a nod to Dave Mustaine's Black Tooth Warrior.
No, it's actually Harold Bluetooth.
I didn't really think that. I just now made that up.
Yeah, Harold Bluetooth was a king of Denmark and Norway at one point. And from what I understand, the symbol for the little Bluetooth symbol is actually his name in runic symbol.
That's actually pretty fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Who knew that they could be cool like that?
Pretty cool.
Yeah, that's pretty neat. Was that your news?
No, that's not. That's just I thought of that when you mentioned.
That was just a little interesting tidbit.
Little interesting tidbit. See that? We know too much.
Hell yeah. All right, go ahead. All right, I won't interrupt you anymore.
My bit of actual news, which I could file under the file of I don't really give a shit about, but it's news anyway. Apparently, System of a Down is getting back together, and they have a new album that they're about to work on, and they have like 15 songs ready to go. So, if anyone out there is an actual System of a Down fan, yay!
Is he gonna go wake up? Wake up! Take up!
I'm sure it'll be full from beginning to end of out of tune singing and screaming.
And also, I'm going to go ahead and guess some serious left-wing political rants.
More than likely.
Yeah. Okay. So that's our little pieces of heavy metal news. Hey, it's a fucking slow week. What do you want from me? All right. You can't have Ozzy doing some shit every week. All right. So here we go.
Right.
All right. So we're going to go ahead and delve into our list of 10 songs that we chose for our reviewing, and by we I mean me, and by chose I mean just outright looked at our theme and chose them. Our theme this week is pagan metal, right? So
heathen metal.
Yeah, heathen metal, pagan metal. If you don't know what pagan metal is, then probably shouldn't even be listening to this because it's a pretty big subgenre of heavy metal. And if you don't know that much about metal, then I don't know what to tell
Pretty much all metal is pagan metal.
you. No, I suppose that might be true. I guess if you consider Satan pagan.
Right.
All right. So anyway, our first song we have is a song called Sinclair's Visa, and it's by a band called Tyr, and it's from their third album, released in 2008, Land. And Tyr themselves were formed in 1998 in the Faroe Islands. And I just want to say that I first heard Tyr, I got a sampler CD of pagan metal a long time ago, like when actual magazines were like physical things that you could touch and not on the internet.
God, I miss those days.
Yeah, me too. And inside of one of these magazines, they had a little sampler CD, and it had this band Tyr on it. The song was Gatu Rima. It's a fucking amazing song. And I was like, holy shit, these are awesome. And I subsequently bought all their CDs. So full disclosure, I'm a fan of Tyr, and I actually own Land. It's probably one of my more favorite. It's probably my top 100 CDs I have. But anyway, the song is based on a poem by Edvard Storm about the Battle of Kringen, where Scottish mercenaries got their fucking asses handed to them by some Norse peasants on their way to Sweden. I think the kill ratio was like 172 to 12.
Wow.
Yeah, they got fucked up. All right. So anyway, I love the opening singing of the. There's like a kind of almost like a chorus, but I think it's just a couple of guys, doing the opening singing. The opening guitars and drums is fucking awesome. At 3:45, I don't know what they do, but they like do some kind of like musical change to where they're like long strung out type of guitar playing, but like kind of crunchy guitar playing, which I like at 3:45. My only complaint about the song Sinclair's Visa by Tyr is that the bass is a little bit echoey. But other than that, I love the song. I love the band. I love the album. Fucking shoulder. I'm going to give this a 9.0 Dreadwind.
Wow. All right. Yeah, Tyr. Of course, the name Tyr comes from Norse mythology as well.
Right.
There you go. Yeah, I really liked the singing at the beginning too. Like you mentioned, they kind of did a harmonize thing there with like I guess 3 or 4 of them. That was really cool. It's pretty much a basic driving power metal song. It's good. I liked it. A lot of these songs on this list kind of have the same vibe and feel and sound and style. So, if you're new to this particular genre of metal, a lot of these songs will kind of start to sound the same. And I felt like this one kind of did that a little bit. I like Tyr, but I like other Tyr songs better than this one. Like Hold the Heathen Hammer High.
That's a great one.
Ragnarok.
Also a great one.
Yeah, I like those songs better than this one, but I did like this one. I give this a 7.5.
7.5. All right, and just one more thing about Tyr, right? Another name for Tyr is Two. TIW, and also Tiwas, TIWAS, and Tuesday actually comes from Tyr's Day. So pretty much every fucking day of the week is named after some Viking shit, right?
Yep. Thursday is named after Thor.
Right,
Thursday.
And Wednesday is named after Odin, and Friday is named after Freya. So there you go.
Yep.
All right, so moving on. Tidbits of history. Maybe we do know too much. All right, so moving on to Amon Amarth. And Amon Amarth formed in 1992 in Sweden. And this song is called Variogs of Miklagard. And it's from their 7th album, Twilight of the Thunder God. And again, full disclosure, I'm a huge Amon Amarth fan. I love this song. I love this album. And the Miklagard, actually, it means like the southern realm or the middle realm. And basically, it's about
is that another word for just Midgard?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
And I mean, it's kind of like some of their translations kind of overlap a little bit sometimes because there's various, Old Norse comes from a couple of different, dialects. Like we have the Finnish, the Swedish, the Norse. But anyway, it's about the Varangian Guard, and basically they were they promised their swords to the Byzantine emperor. That's what the entire song's about. It's about, hey, we swore that we'll protect this guy, and that's what we're going to do, even if we have to die to do it, because we're men of our word. But at the end, we're going to go home, and if we die, we're going to go to Valhalla. That's pretty much what the song's about. At least that's what I took from it. And the opening drums, fucking amazing, right? That just I love that opening drum.
Oh yeah,
it's awesome. There's no other word for it. And also in the middle when they do that breakdown, it's fucking just amazing, right? And again, I gave this song also a 9.0. If you can't see it, every time I get through like one of my favorite songs, I pick up my little note card and fucking fling it. Thinking, like we're in because it's like almost like exactly a Letterman type thing, and it's nobody can even fucking see, so it's kind of wasted effort. But now you know, and maybe you know too much. Anyway, Dreadwind, go.
Picture that in your head every time Thundercracker just flinging a note card across this hangar.
Every time you get a good one, like a 9.0 or above.
Yeah, there you go.
For so emphasis. Go ahead. Very
okay, yeah, cool intro. Yeah, absolutely. I love the intro. I really like the not just the drums, but the double guitars that they had going on. Kind of again harmonizing with each other with an almost Iron Maiden style with the double guitars. The vocals are it's what you would expect a Viking to sound like.
Right, yeah. Pissed off.
Yeah, and the whole song kind of had a dark tranquility vibe. If you're familiar with that band, I know you are.
Yep.
I found dark tranquility, of course, is not what I would classify as Viking metal by any means, but this particular song just kind of had that that style and vibe musically. It's about battles and glory. I mean,
that's about as Viking as you can get, right?
Yeah, that's right. So I give this one an 8. I like
an 8.
Mm-hmm.
All right, pretty good for.
I like other Amon Amarth songs better than this one, but this one wasn't bad.
All right. All right. You don't have to justify it to me, man. You can hate him if you want. All right. All right. So moving on to our third song, and it's by a band called Teresa's, and it's battle metal. It's from their 2004 debut, and it's the title track off of that album. Teresa's is a Finland band, I guess Finnish band or a Finnish band. All right, 1997. They have a fucking accordion in their band. All right,
I saw that.
And they have flutes and they have a violin. Right, if you can make an accordion, flutes, and violin fucking metal, you've accomplished something. All right. Okay, so first off, and that they wear face paint, and their face paint looks fucking badass. It's like this red, and then they got like these black fucking
red and black stripes and stuff. Yeah,
it's pretty awesome, and they wear armor, which is cool as fuck.
Most of them wear armor in this list.
Yeah, the main riff in this song, I don't know if that's what you would call it, because I don't know shit about actual like musical technical stuff. The main riff I thought was really good. The keyboards I thought were a little bit over the top. I mean, they could have gotten rid of some of the keyboards and made it a little bit better, in my opinion. But I still really love it. And basically, it's about, at least, judging by the video that I watched, it's about, hey, everybody that enjoys, pagan metal at, pagan metal concerts, like, in big mosh pits, and, enjoying pagan metal. So I gave this an 8.0. So there you go. Dreadwind. Don't bring me down on this one, man.
Bring it down. Is the music without the extra stuff, like just the guitars, bass, and drums, is pretty much your straightforward kind of power metal style. Again, very driving sound. The chorus, when the chorus kicks in, you can tell it's definitely one of those anthem songs that they wanted to. To get the whole crowd singing, big arena full of people, battle metal, and then of course you have the extraneous stuff on top of it, like the accordion and an actual flute. There's not just a flute in the song. There's a freaking flute solo.
Yeah, man, what's wrong with that?
Just, you have a metal song with a flute solo in it. So
What was that?
that's,
What was that guy's name that fucked over Metallica that one year?
oh yeah, crap, I can see his face standing on one leg with Jethro Tull.
Yeah, that's the guy. Didn't he play a flute?
Yeah, standing on one leg playing a flute. Yep.
There you go. The flute beat out the Mighty Met one year, so there you go.
Yeah. So overall, I'll give it a 7.5. It wasn't bad at all, but
All right.
I did find some, like you said, some of the keyboard and other stuff was a little extraneous here and there.
All right, that's pretty good, I thought, for you. Normally you're like, fuck that shit.
No, I like that
Why?
one. Now, there's another one later on that we haven't got to yet.
All right, so we're going to move on to Finn Troll. And I believe this is Et Norskenstad.
Sure. Why not?
And yeah, fuck it. We're probably going to mispronounce a bunch of shit on this edition because, like, I'm not from Scandinavia. So, anyway, Finn Troll was born. They were born, like, literally born. Like, the metal gods put their horns up and fucking Finn Troll came out. So, anyway, they were born in 1997 in Finland. And this is off their 2010 album, Niflvind, which is their 8th album. And actually, I just want to say a couple of things about this. First of all, I watched the video, the actual official video, and the drummer in this video looks like a goddamn. He looks like a fucking zombie. He just he has no movement, no motion. He's just like zoned out, straightforward. He doesn't even look down at his drums, just like just like a mannequin.
I was gonna say that. It looks like he's washing dishes back there.
Yeah, like, what the fuck are you doing, man? Like, the rest of the band's going crazy, but this guy just like fucking, I don't know what his problem was, Quaaludes or something. Jesus. But anyway, you could definitely tell that they had black metal influence in this. I mean, it was pretty obvious to me, the black metal influence. The keyboard, it had a weird sound to it to me in this particular one. I mean, it didn't sound, I understand that a keyboard you can change the sound on it a little bit, but it didn't even sound like a keyboard to me. The drummer,
a lot of these bands use keyboards to try to get like that kind of a airy, fluty type of sound.
Folky sound, So anyway, I wasn't a huge fan of this song, and there's some good Finn Troll songs, like Troll Hammer's a good song. But anyway, I gave this a 6.0. Dreadwind.
Oh, okay. Finn Troll, very, 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 very folk metal intro to this song, and the rest of the song had kind of a bouncy rhythm to it. I actually enjoyed this one. This was one of the ones I enjoyed the most out of this list. I really like this one.
See, that's why this show's so great, because we don't all have the same point of view.
Yeah, I really, really enjoyed this particular song. I liked the rhythm. The vocals aren't anything that it's not the type of vocals that I normally listen to, but it
likes
fit
ABBA,
for this.
that's what you're trying to say.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no comment.
Go ahead. Sorry.
I was gonna go with a snappy comeback, but I can't even.
Out of evens?
Yeah, I'm out of evens. You owe me a Coke. Zing. Yeah, I liked it though. Like I said, the vocals fit for the song and it worked. I give this one an 8.
8? All right.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. All right. So, moving on past Finn Troll, and we're going to stay in Finland for like half of these. Anyway, again, Insafrum is a Finnish band formed in 1995. This particular song came off of their Iron album, their second album released in 2004. And actually, there's an extended cut of this album, and there's a Metallica cover of, I forget what song, but it's a good Metallica song if I remember correctly. But there's an extended cut of Iron, and I have it somewhere where they cover a Metallica song. And Insafrum in Latin literally means sword bearing. Right? So anyway, the song is called La La Hi.
Is it hi or hey?
I think maybe it is La La Hey. I thought it was La La Hi. But essentially the song is about Odin and Scandinavia. I mean, they talk about wandering around and their home of Scandinavia. Essentially, that's what I got out of it. It's about Odin.
Half of it was in Finnish, and the other half was in English.
Right. I thought it was here's what I wrote down. I thought it was a perfect medley of acoustic and electric. Like their acoustic parts and their electric parts just like fit together like Jenga, like fucking perfectly. Right? Like, cause sometimes when there's, acoustic parts to a song and then, electric parts, like, it's really like jagged, when they connect. But I thought that these meshed together, very well, I thought. The vocals are a little drony, in my opinion. The song could have been a little shorter. I mean, it's 7 minutes and 15 seconds long, but the tempo change was really, really good. I know Dreadwood's a fan of tempo changes. They had a tempo change in this song, and that was really good. And I like the song overall. I also am a huge Instrument fan, because a lot of their songs are really good. And I gave this a 7.5.
Okay. The intro had a very kind of acoustic part, had a very Zeppelin feel to it, to me, kind of a Zeppelin-esque intro. It reminded me. It doesn't.
They buying a Stairway to Valhalla?
Well, no, actually, it didn't. It doesn't sound like it, but it reminded me with the feel of the Battle of Evermore. Not Stairway to Heaven, Battle of Evermore.
Is that a Led Zeppelin song?
Yeah, it's album.
Yeah, the only Zeppelin songs I know are Stairway to Heaven and the one that goes din-din-din, din-din-din.
Yeah, no, this Battle of Evermore is much. It's an acoustic piece. He's got a what do you call it? A little mandolin. I think he played a little mandolin. I think that he's playing in it, and it's a similar feel with the intro, and that's what I got from that. Again, it doesn't sound like that song, but it has that feel to it with the intro. Back on topic, it's another folk metal song, but then there's that change up, like you said, like at the 3-minute mark, it like kicks into a thrash.
But yeah.
Rhythm. So that was pretty cool. I like that. It kind of, the whole song kind of had an epic feel without being too epic, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. Yep. Mm-hmm.
And the solo was great. The really good guitar playing. I thought it was very, very technical, but tasteful at the same time. So a good blend of playing technical chops, but not going overboard and showing off with it. Overall, I give it a 7.5 also.
Oh, yeah, look at that. We matched up on one. Holy shit. All right. So, moving on to our next folk metal band. And this one is from Canada, home of folk metal. Okay.
Canadian folk metal band. That's
right. So, anyway, the band's called Nordheim, formed in 2009 in Canada, which is fucking bizarre. Anyway, this song is from their album Lost in the North, which is their 2010 debut album. The song is called Far Away, and I think this might be their only album, to be honest with you. Yeah, so I was watching this video, and like it seemed like they kept switching from pagan metal to thrash metal to black metal to death metal to thrash metal, and they were just like they're all over the place with their style.
Yeah,
because I mean you could definitely hear thrash metal in there at some points. I mean even they have fucking playing a bunch of V's, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know if you watched the official video, but trust me, they were playing some V's, and and you can definitely hear the black metal influence. I thought I thought the tempo change was pretty good again. And one thing I did notice, and I'm not sure exactly what this is called, right? Because I've heard it called a couple different things, but it's what Zakk Wylde does all the time. I've heard it called artificial harmonics, and these guys did quite a bit of that.
Pinch harmonics, yeah.
And I've heard that it's very hard to do on a guitar because you have to like hit the string and then hit it again or some shit. I don't know the fucking total technical terms to it, but I've heard that it's hard to do. And these guys did it a couple times in this song. And one thing I noticed about the video, which was distracting as fuck, is it was like a goddamn like 1950s Japanese monster movie. It was like out of sync. It's like
Yeah.
the singing wasn't synced up and the guitars wasn't synced up to the actual video. I'm like, you guys make an official video. The least you can do is like sync up the music. But anyway, it was okay. I would just say okay. I give it a 6.0. Redwood. That's the one you
All
didn't
right.
like?
Yeah.
I figured.
Yeah. First off, Canadian folk metal. What the fuck?
Right?
Yeah. This is a band that. All right. Let's just clear the air. This is not a folk metal band. This is a black metal band that threw a keyboard player in there and said, "Hey, play some folk metal keyboard shit so it can sound like we're supposed to be a folk metal band." Because they're not. They're a fucking black metal band. The whole song was straight up black metal. The way he sang, the rhythms of the guitars. Now, I will admit there was a really sweet change up right around 2 minutes, and they kicked into this really pretty groovy rhythm with the guitars for a little while.
Yeah, I thought that was like kind of thrashy when they did that.
Yeah, that was kind of that thrash part, and I really liked that part. That was the only part of the song I actually liked. The rest, it just sounded like typical black metal with an occasional keyboard, that airy flute sound on top of it here and there, and like you said, the video was really distracting because they he would be singing, and like in the video he'd be singing, but there's no words in the song
Right.
at that point. Yeah, that was weird. But the song itself was just no. Yeah, I give it a 5. That was crap.
All right. In case you guys don't notice, black metal is not Dreadwind's favorite genre of metal. It's not mine either, really. So yeah, all right. Let's move on from that.
There's some decent black metal bands out there, but they're very far and few between.
Right. I always call it like the strep throat metal because this definitely sounds like they're rasping a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I figure maybe Starscream would like that, right? So anyway.
Yeah.
All right, the next band, I'm gonna say it, Louvieti. What it sounds like, what it looks like to me, Louvieti.
Sure.
This is off of their album Helvetios, which is their 8th studio album. A lot of these bands have like a ton of albums that nobody's ever heard of because they're like tiny bands. That's the best part about metal is you'll find some stuff that's like so obscure and they've been around forever. And they got this cult following of people. And
a lot of these bands, they probably play in front of huge crowds over in Europe and Scandinavia.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's like what's that one band with the fucking polka dots? Cheap Trick. Like they're okay here, but you go to Japan, they're fucking enormous.
Yeah.
Anyway, the song is called "A Rose for Epona," and Epona is actually a Gaulish goddess, I should say, of horsemen and cavalry and horses. And the song is it's written from the perspective of a Gaulish woman who's probably lost her husband in a battle, and she's probably going to be sold into slavery for Romans because the Romans went and fucked up Gaul. Still waiting on my reparations, by the way, for that. There's a hurdy-gurdy in the song. A hurdy-gurdy in the song. Let me say that one more time. In this heavy metal song, there's a fucking hurdy-gurdy, and in fact, the hurdy-gurdy player is the one doing the singing. The chick is. I forgot to say.
Tell them what a hurdy-gurdy is.
I'm not. Isn't it like the little thing that you turn the crank on it or something and then play like with your fingers? Maybe I'm wrong. No?
Go for it. That's fine. Go for it.
All right. So I'm not 100% sure what the fuck a hurdy-gurdy is, to be honest with you. I just read that they had a hurdy-gurdy player in there, and I was like, maybe I thought a hurdy-gurdy was like the thing that, the people with the dancing monkeys would play.
Oh no, that's a No. That's
accordion.
See, I heard it. No, it's fuck. I can't think of the name of it now.
Yeah, so you don't get on me for not knowing what fucking hurdy-gurdy is.
But a hurdy-gurdy is more guitar shaped, and it does have a crank that you spin kind of like on the back of it.
Yeah.
It's got some keys and stuff. So yeah, but I'll have to think of that other one that you're talking about. Go ahead.
Monkey Machine. All right. But
Yeah.
anyway, I forgot to say that they were formed in Switzerland in 2002. I think it's our first Swiss metal band. Every time I think of Switzerland, I think of the Swiss Guard with their like big colorful pantaloons and their halberds and neutrality and pocket knives and
There you
cheese.
go.
So anyway, I really liked it. I thought it was sad as fuck. Like it was like I don't know, just like it struck me emotionally as like super duper sad. I gave it an 8.5. I really liked it. And Dreadwind. This should be right up your alley. Fucking sadness. There you go.
Sadness. Nobody likes me. Feel like Eeyore. Oh boy, here we go. Yeah, again, very folk intro. Imagine that. It had a folk intro sound.
To a folk metal song?
Yeah. It's only like the 10th song on the list that's done that, right? That's like all my notes. Folk intro sound. uh, the intro kind of had it actually kind of sounded like it belonged to a soundtrack of something,
Yeah, it did kind of.
something you expect from a soundtrack, and then the guitars kick in, boom, and that was pretty cool. I really liked it when the guitar player started singing also with the male vocals. He came in.
Yeah, kind of backed her up a little bit.
Yeah, and I really liked that. She had a decent voice, but what bothered me with her voice was the way she sang the song. Like the chorus was okay, but the verses were just so staggered. The melody that she was singing, it wasn't smooth. The way she was singing it, it was kind of up and down and kind of I don't know. I can't do it.
I really wish I had fucking had that recorded right there. I'd make that my ringtone.
It is going to be recorded. You can go back and listen to it again.
Ah!
Yeah, that bothered me. I liked the song overall, and look, there's another flute solo in it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I give it a 7.5. I would have liked it a lot more had she sung it differently.
Hey,
again,
by the way,
her
those are
voice
called
wasn't-
street organs, and they call those people organ grinders with the little monkeys.
Organ grinder. That's it. Organ grinder. That's what I was thinking of.
Yeah. So would you go to 7.5?
0.5. I would have given it. I really liked the song, and I would have given it a higher score if she would have actually sang it differently. Because it broke up the flow of the song, the way she sang the verses. It was kind of annoying.
Yeah. See, I'm right there with you on that. And people, they can do that with guitars. I've heard that done with bass solos. I've heard it done with drum solos. There are ways to fit, that type of thing. There are ways to, break up the rhythm of a song. And it's just, in my opinion, I don't really like that. Right?
Yeah.
I like it when a solo, you get to a certain point in the song, the solo fucking takes you off in this like astronomical direction, brings you back down, and then flows you right back into the song. That's what a good solo is to me.
Right.
When it's just a break for a fucking, what do you call it? Fretboard wanker to get out there and show off how great he is. Then I'm not that big of a fan of it. All right, so let's get off of the word fretboard wanker and get into our next song.
I don't think she was wanking any fretboards though.
No. She was an okay singer. She definitely wasn't that Brazilian chick from the other week, because that chick was pretty goddamn good, but she was still okay.
Yeah.
All right, the next song is from a band called Corpicleani.
Yeah.
It's from their 2009 album, which is their 9th album, and it's called Carcalo. This song is so great. I'm a huge fan.
How could they? I just have to say, how can they go 9 albums before they finally wrote this song?
Right. Yeah, you're right. I mean, this sounds like a debut album song. Right? I mean, first of all, okay, the song is called Bring Us Pints of Beer. Right? And that's the entire song is like, hey, bring us some beer and we're going to drink it right now in here. That's the entire fucking song. It's like this drinking anthem. It's the perfect length. It's like a little over 2.5 minutes long. All they're talking about is drinking beer. It's a great. Oh, I also forgot to say that they're also another Finnish band from 2003 formed. It's crunchy as fuck right off the rip, right? They just go right into the fucking crunchy, like, drop tune guitar. I think it's drop tune guitar. I think. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't fucking know. Anyway, go right into that crunchy type guitar playing, and they kind of like set you up a little bit, and then they knock you down, kind of like in the opening riff. So I really like it. It's a good drinking anthem song. I give it an 8.5. Edwin, go ahead.
Yeah, it has a real rocking rhythm to it. You know, it just kind of, like you said, it kind of kicks the door down and let's drink beer. You know,
Right, right.
uh, that's the whole song. The lyrics, what there are not very many of them, but what there is, they're pretty funny. And I think it's even funnier because it's in English and that's not their native tongue. So I'm sure some of the translation kind of got lost here and there.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so because the one I was watching actually had the lyrics come up on the screen, and just some of the phrases were like, yeah, that's not quite how that should be phrased, probably, but it's still funny.
Yeah,
I
definitely
thought it was
English is like
funny as Yeah, I thought it was funny as fuck. I loved it. One of my favorite songs on the list. I give this one a solid 8.
hey, matched up again. All right. So all right. Let's move on to our next one. This is a folk metal band from Russia, uh, 2003, and they had the Cyrillic alphabet on their name. So, but they also had like the approximate Roman alphabet pronunciation next to it. So I'm gonna just if I get it wrong, fuck you. I'm gonna get it wrong because I don't know what the how to pronounce a goddamn backwards R and a fucking like towel
backwards,
sign. You know what I mean?
backwards in, and yeah.
Yeah, right. It's Samargal, and the song is called Razdol, and it's from their Shelek Derev album, which is their debut in 2013. The lead guitar in the intro in the song is awesome, right?
Hmm.
The
Hmm.
tempo change in this song was awesome. Overall, I thought the song was great. I mean, for an instrumental, I mean, I thought it was really really good. And they had like the video that I watched, they had like these what looked like pages from an old manuscript that were like illuminated, which I thought that was kind of neat. I really liked it. It was good, a really good instrumental. I give it an 8.5. I definitely want to hear more of this band if I could ever fucking figure out how to pronounce their goddamn name.
Yeah, that's kind of what Samargal, I think, is how I
Yeah, Samargal. That's
pronounce
what
it.
I got out of it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, instrumental, very nice guitar work in this one. Um, it 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 was almost too long, but not quite. Um, it was almost monotonous, but not quite. In other words, I think they skirted the line of they had some change ups in there like at just the right moments because it had it some of the parts going on just a tad longer would have been all right. It's time for a change here. So I think they kind of they kind of walked that tightrope real close with where the change ups were located in the instrument because an instrumental can get very monotonous very quick. It's not when you're writing an instrumental musically, it's not you have to approach it differently than writing a standard song. You don't have lyrics going over and you can't repeat. You have to have some sort of moving theme throughout the song that can move your listener through it or
Right,
a lot
because you got to tell a story without words.
right or change ups in it, and I felt like at parts during the song they were pushing the boundaries there in certain areas, but I think overall they did a good job. They kind of painted a picture, but at certain times the guitar work got a little too technical, I thought, for what they were trying to do because the song was trying to paint a certain type of picture, and then all of a sudden the guitar player decided he was going to do a little wanking here and there, and I just found that a little distracting from the overall picture and theme of the song because the song isn't super technical. It's got some spots in it here and there, but like I said, the guitar player just decides he's going to go off on a little wank here, and all right, reel it back in. But overall, it was pretty good. Not as strong or solid as something like Metallica does when they do instrumentals, but it was still good. I give it a 7.5.
Yeah, I was gonna say when you were saying all that stuff. I mean, it takes a, it's very hard to write something as perfect as Orion.
Right, right,
I mean that to me is like that is what an instrumental should be. And we'll get
exactly.
off. We'll get off on a whole tangent if we start talking about Master of Puppets again.
Yeah.
All right, so let's move on for our
Well,
last song.
we had Call of Cthulhu last week, which is another
Yeah,
good one.
right.
Yeah,
Amazing. It's right.
yeah.
So let's move on to our last band, Heidelvolk. and the song was called Saxonland. Heidelberg is from the Netherlands in 2003. This is off their third album, Valhalla from 2008. I thought, first of all, let me just go ahead and say, I know we've been saying pagan intros the whole time, but the pagan intro to this was fucking awesome. The thunderstorm, and it has this guy like chanting. I thought it was fucking great. I just imagine like a skull just like, chanting that kind of shit to his warriors, like right before they fucking put the boat on the shore and go and fuck up a bunch of Christians. So I thought that was really good. The drum opening I also thought was fucking awesome. And overall, I thought it was, a really good song. It's, shockingly, this song is about, battle and glory. Just like about 8 of the other 10 songs in the fucking list, right? So anyway, I thought it was really, really good.
And
I'm a fan of the song. I'm a fan of Heidelberg in general, and I give this an 8.0.
Oh, right.
So
yeah, we're back to power metal. Imagine that. Woo. It had a very big guitar sound to it. The guitars sounded like they were just like pretty massive in the mix. The intro was cool, like you said. The rest of the song was pretty much your standard Viking power metal song. It kind of sounded like the other 8 or 9 songs we have on the list. I didn't find it wasn't a bad song. I just didn't find anything remarkable about it that really stood out. It kind of just blended in with all the other ones that we've listened to. Kind of like, I've heard this one before because we've just listened to 8 other ones just like it. so I give it a 6.5 just because nothing really, other than like the intro and the big guitar sound, nothing really stood out. It was just, it wasn't bad. It was just, eh. So.
All right. Solid meh.
Solid meh.
All right. Okay, so now we move on to the final segment of our show, Hangar 18, military intelligence. Just 2 words, don't make sense. Anyway, final segment is where we talk about concert experiences. And yeah, I'm going to go ahead and talk about one that I had.
Thundercracker?
Yes.
Why don't you go first?
Yeah, I think I'll go first.
Yeah, why don't you do that?
Because I'm awesome. All right. So anyway, shades of Decepticast. All right. So anyway, my concert experience I want to talk about this. I was in high school when this happened, right? And we went to watch Metallica, right? And this was just before, I think it was before Load was released. Because I think I was in Las Vegas when Load was released, which sounds a really weird way to say that. It's a really weird phrase, especially considering the cover art of Reload, right? So anyway,
especially considering what happens in Vegas should stay in Vegas.
Right. So anyway, I think this was right before Load came out. I was still in high school, and me and a buddy of mine, Lucas.
Keep it PG-13.
Yeah, right. So anyway, me and a buddy of mine, Lucas, we went to go watch Metallica, and I know they were playing in Dayton. I'm 100% sure of that, but I'm not sure of what the venue was. I don't know if it was the Hara Arena or the Nutter Center. But it was. Yeah, I know. It fucking never stops, does it? Right? It's like fucking double entendre city. So anyway, just before Load was released at the Nutter Center. Anyway, so I'm not sure if it was the Nutter Center or Hara Arena. All I remember was it was a really small venue.
Either way, with the Hara Arena.
Yeah. So yeah, it was a really small venue, and I remember that the floor area was like just tiny. It was like half the size of a basketball court was the floor area, and they even had like which I thought was weird. They had seats up by the stage of the floor area, and then behind the seats they had just a little bit of area of standing room. And then, you had the bleachers around that, right? So we were in the bleachers, but we were, really close to the floor. Anyway, the story is, where it gets interesting, and it's fucking what's up with the whole, double entendre part, is I go down and sit down in my seat, and Lucas gets up to go somewhere, and I forget where the fuck he went or what he was going to go do. Maybe it was buy a shirt or something. I forget. And he gets up and leaves. And this was like one of those shows where you have like assigned seats, you know, in certain parts. Just wasn't, hey, go where you go as quick as you get there. So anyway, I'm sitting there, and this guy walks in, like enormous. This guy had to have been 6'4". It had to have been 280 pounds. I bet you his body fat was like maybe 4%. Right? This guy was just ripped as fuck. Right? And of course, he sits down right next to me, in the seat right next to me. I'm like, oh, great. Right? So like this guy's just kind of sitting there watching the roadie set up or whatever. And I turn around, I look at the guy, I say, hey man, I'm a really big fan of Metallica. I'm really into their music, and I might like move around a little bit. If I do, and I like accidentally hit you, please don't kick my ass. Right? And the guy just looks at me, he goes, shit, man, I might move around a little bit too and hit you too. It's all right. I'm like, okay, cool, right? So then here's the thing, right? So we're watching, the concert or whatever. And about halfway through the concert, the guy like taps me on the shoulder. I turn around, and he's got the biggest joint I've ever seen in his hand. And he's like, here, like offering me a hit. And I'm like, normally I would say, okay, I'll take that. But I have no idea who this guy is, where he's been, where his mouth has been, whatever. So I'm like, and I'm good. But yeah, so I turned that down. And
how big was that? Because that's funny.
I want to say probably like maybe the diameter of my thumb and probably about 4.5 inches long. So pretty large.
I can actually beat you on that one, but go ahead.
Yeah, well, anyway, like 3/4 the size of a cigar, essentially, right? So I'm like, okay. But anyway, I didn't get my ass kicked. I didn't take a hit off the joint. I didn't get like human papilloma virus or whatever the fuck I would have gotten taken a hit off that joint. And yeah, I made it out okay. And that's my story. And I'm sticking to it. So
right.
Yeah. Dreadwing, go ahead. And this better be a goddamn good one.
Okay, well this one goes back to my college days. And when I was in college briefly, I actually DJ'd at the local the college radio station that was there, which is pretty cool. We got to play whatever we wanted to play as long as it wasn't one of the songs that we couldn't play, type of thing. So, of course, I had the heavy metal music going all the time. But through them, we had every now and then the concerts would come to town. We could get free tickets through the radio station.
Sweet.
Cool. So Marilyn Manson was coming through town. And this was before they went big. This was before, it was after their first album, but before the Smells Like Children came out.
Was their first album Mechanical Animals or something?
No, it was Portrait of American Family.
Okay.
It was the first album. So it was right before Smells Like Children came out, which was the one with Sweet Dreams on it.
All right there, Marilyn Manson Wikipedia. Go ahead.
And well, I say that because that's when they exploded. If you remember right, when Sweet Dreams came out, all of a sudden Manson was literally all over MTV. He was all over the radio. Everything was playing.
Wasn't he covered in pig shit in that video?
Probably, yeah. But the point is, this was right before they got huge. Okay, so they were coming through town. They were playing a small college club. I mean, like a small college club. Okay, so this was right before they went really big, and Clutch was opening for them for this particular show. So I had a friend of mine who was a huge Clutch fan, and I was just getting into Manson. He liked Manson also a little bit, and I was just getting into him a little bit. And he's like, "Hey man, we got free tickets. Did you want to go to the show?" He didn't want to go by himself. I was like, and he said, "I don't know anybody else that would be willing to go because nobody else I know likes Manson." I was like, "Yeah, I'll go see him." I hadn't seen him yet. So we go. He's like, "I really want to see Clutch. I'm so excited to see Clutch." So we go get there, and free concerts are always cool. So we get in, and like I said, it's right on the LSU campus. It's this little bitty tiny club. A lot of bands come through there, but it's not a big place. So we're in there, and to your joint story, about halfway through the show, somebody passed around the biggest fucking joint I have ever seen. And I kid you not, this thing was at least 6 or 7 inches long, and probably about an inch and a half in diameter at one
Damn.
point. It was
That's Cheech and Chong worthy
huge.
right there.
Yes,
Well, I take that back. That's
what it
about
looked like.
half Cheech and Chong worthy.
That's what it reminded me of, and it came down. And I was like, holy shit! And again, like you, I passed. I didn't know what was in it. I didn't want to know what was in it. I didn't know where it would, because it was being passed down the line in a concert.
Right. You didn't want to end up in Debo's chicken coop.
Yeah, this wasn't just like 2 or 3 guys passing a little joint. But no, this thing was huge, and it was going down the line in the concert. I was like, no, thanks, I'll pass. So anyway, the actual concert itself, Clutch gets on, and Clutch was one of the most boring shows I've ever seen. Clutch is okay. I like some of their songs. My friend was excited to see them, but even he was disappointed because they literally the whole show they acted like they didn't even want to be there.
Well, that's always fun.
Yeah, and I hate when bands are like that. And their entire movement for the entire show consisted of the singer would literally stand in one spot. He would take one step forward and lean forward, and then he would take one step back. And that was the entire show. That was all he did the entire show.
You know what would have made that better is if he then would have done the hokey pokey and turned himself
about. Yeah, the bass player was the only animated one. He moved around kind of like Gumby, but what was weird was his feet never moved. Like his feet were planted next to each other and they never moved, but the rest of his body was like moving around, like those big balloon things you see.
Yeah, wacky, wavy, inflatable arms.
Yeah. That's kind of what he looked like, and
nice.
he was the most animated one of the whole group. And then the guitar player just literally stood there and stared at his guitar the entire show. Nice. So that was just one of the most boring experiences, and my friend was even let down. He was like, "Man, they kind of sucked, didn't they?" I was like, "Yeah, I didn't want to say anything, but yeah." And then Manson gets on, and you have the complete opposite because he was all over the stage, climbing on top of the drums, breaking beer bottles, throwing shit in the crowd, and all kinds of stage theatrics, and the whole band, the lights and everything. And they actually put on a really good show. Like him or not, Manson puts on a great show, and that was a great show.
Yeah, he definitely does. Last time I saw him, he had a microphone that ended in a big giant knife. I thought that was kind of cool. And I was gonna say about Clutch. The only Clutch song I know is "Samurai Named Marcus."
Okay. Well, they have that other one. Well, they had at the time. I think their big song was the that ooh ee ooh ah ah one that he does, the Walla Walla Bing Bang or something, some sort of song like that.
I'm not familiar with that one. All right.
It was one of the ones they had on at the time. I can't remember now. And then they have the other one that came out more recently was Electric Worry, I think is the name of it.
That one either.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Clutch fan.
Not a huge Clutch fan, but it was on the radio so much. And just to wrap up the Clutch story, I remember seeing an interview with him, and he was talking about when they went on tour with Motorhead, right? And they were like, "Well, did Lemmy give you any advice?" And he's like, "Yeah, we were on tour with Motorhead, and we had stopped playing Electric Worry because we just kind of got tired of it because it's their big song, And at one point, he was like in an elevator or something at a hotel, and Lemmy was with him, and Lemmy just kind of turned to him at one point and goes, "So why don't y'all play that Electric Worry song anymore?" And he goes, "Well, we play it all the time. We kind of got tired of it and decided to, just take a break from playing it for a while." And Lemmy just kind of stood there and looked at him and goes, "You got tired of playing it?" He goes, "Let me tell you something. That's your fucking ace of spades, mate.
Right.
Play that shit." And he's like, "Okay." So yeah, I thought that was a cool story.
Yeah, I'm guessing Lemmy's probably sick of playing Overkill too, but fuck, I mean, you got to give the fans what they want, right?
Exactly.
You know who's notorious for that was Grateful Dead. Grateful Dead would play all these deep tracks and stuff at their concerts. Mm-hmm. The fans were like, "Huh, what the fuck is this shit?" They wanted to play their hits, but the Grateful Dead they stuck to their guns. But I was gonna say, as far as animated, maybe what I think next week we're gonna do a review of live songs, and what I think we're like review them, not so much for the little bit for the song mechanics themselves, but like actually for the crowd interaction and stuff like that.
Performance, right?
Right, but the performance. But talk about a front man who fucking just gets down is Randy Blythe. That motherfucker is he has a stage presence like big time. I don't know if you've ever seen a live Lamb of God show, but Jesus Christ,
I have.
that guy just goes
Actually, I saw
bonkers.
them open. I saw them open for Metallica.
And did Randy Blythe go bonkers?
Yeah, the whole band.
Yeah, of course he did. That's what he does, right? So all right. So I think that about wraps it up. We're a little actually we still almost made a fucking hour. I guess we just got a little fucking Viking in our blood there.
That's right.
So even with only 2 guys, we fucking managed to crank it out for an hour. Thanks everybody for listening. And
Hail Odin.
Hail Odin. Hail Satan. Keep the horns up. Maybe I'm just kidding. Maybe I'm not. Thanks for listening, and we're out of here.
See ya.